Well, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana Weather, bringing you your latest video update today, sponsored by Metal Magic in Washington. You can give Chad a call at 698-8555 for all of your paintless dent repair needs. They do a great job, folks. They're PDR Nation certified. Tell them Southern Indiana Weather sent you. All right, satellite and radar into motion here. Boy, we've got some weird stuff going on here today. Have you noticed the direction of the movement on radar? You can track this live on our website, by the way, with our live interactive radar. But notice how this is moving to the northwest, whereas this over here is moving to the southeast. That is all because essentially what you have is a center of low pressure right over our area. Winds wrap counterclockwise around the low, and so that's why you see the differences of direction in the way that we have the radar moving here. Just an interesting side note for you. Scattered showers and thunderstorms like this will continue on into the evening hours. By the way, if I zoom it in here onto Sky Tracker HD, you can get kind of a better, there's that low, you can get a better idea of it. Here's that low, and then again here is that counterclockwise movement moving around in here. We'll see some scattered thunderstorms continue on as the evening goes on, but we've had some big totals over the past few days. Now, if you haven't gotten all the rain you want, I do apologize. You remember a few days ago I called for the potential for some big rains across the area, and this storm system did not disappoint, at least some of us anyway. Now, I know some of you have sort of gotten a shaft on the rain. The rest of us, well, we've had some big rains. I've gotten 4.05 inches of rain in the past 3 days here at the Southern Indiana Weather Office. So my yard is happy once again. It was starting to look a little bit brown, and my mind's going to be nice and healthy and growing like a bandit again. But let's take a look at some precipitation totals for the past 3 days around the area across the state. Here's what the National Weather Service map they point out they make of these precipitation totals. Here's what happened on Friday. A lot of you were disappointed on Friday. I understand it. You didn't get much of anything on southeast side of the state here. Louisville area had a little bit of some rain totals, but really just sort of the southwest corner of the state got much of anything. By the time Saturday, though, come, that had certainly changed. Look at the bullseye right over here on Du Bois County. And right there is the Southern Indiana Weather Office, sort of right about there, right about where that 2.17 was. So, I got some decent rains out of this. You folks up here in northern Davies County into Greene County, northeastern Martin County, you got some northwestern Martin County, I should say. Learned my geography here. Even into Knox County got some decent rains as well. Close to an inch in some areas over here around Washington and Jackson counties, but still minuscule totals elsewhere. And then here's what we've had so far today. Actually, this was Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, I should say. This was issued today on Sunday, but is what we saw yesterday. Again, a bullseye sort of right here on the southwest corner of the state with some very heavy rain totals. And again, not a whole lot over in southeast Indiana. So folks that didn't miss out, hopefully we'll get some rain for you. But, I forecasted 1 to 3 inches area wide is what I thought that our general rain totals would be. And of course, some of you didn't even make it to an inch, but the majority of us did see some impressive rain totals, or I wouldn't say decent rain totals. Some of us saw some very impressive rain totals. And of course, these numbers will continue to go up because we got rain in the forecast tomorrow as well. And this is not the map from today, so we'll have a map from today to look at as well as what we see on Monday as well. We could still get that, and hopefully we will. Now, this is all the result of a storm system that is sort of stalled out into our area. At that low pressure on the National Weather Service map is actually more like up in our area. This is a little bit off on their forecast map. But it gives you an idea. That system moves off and away. You've got another low pressure that moves in. So here we are by tomorrow afternoon. We could be looking at some potentially heavy thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon in places as well. Just sort of depends on the model and what it particularly wants to take. But that moves all out of the system. Front is gone by Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. and then we get back onto the backside of it into a very nice flow. And the high pressure starts to build in, and it looks like we've got a great middle part of the week to talk about. Here's where we stand on future radar, just to give you an idea of what we had going on for today. This was during the overnight hours here. Here we go. You can see it sort of becomes more of an isolated thing rather than scattered. I'm going to go back in time to about here. Here's roughly where we are right now at 8 p.m. on Sunday. See those storms start to fizzle out with the heat of the day. We get a few things moving through during the overnight hours, but not a whole lot. By tomorrow afternoon, though, you get widely scattered storms start to pop up again. So do expect, and this is only one radar's indication of this. I could show you about 5 of these or so, and all of them have different ideas But this just kind of gives you the idea that some pop-up storms will be around the area again. We can never take a look at the exact placement on a future radar. This is just a general idea of what's going to be in the area. But what I can say is another 50% chance of some rain tomorrow. So hopefully some of you will get some that missed out maybe on some of these more impressive rain totals can get some more of those decent totals. And that would certainly be a good thing. But then that all moves out of the way, and it really looks like this future radar says by Tuesday it's all gone. I went ahead and left an isolated chance in on Tuesday morning early on into my 7-day outlook, simply because some of the other models lag it behind just a little bit. But on Tuesday, for the most part, will be high and dry. Now, beyond that, we've got big changes coming on the way. Here's the 500 millibar heights. We've talked about this before, and what you're looking at is airflow. And Up at about 18,000 feet up in the atmosphere. And what I want you to notice is as we start to put this into motion here we are in the state of Indiana right here. Notice how it starts to turn to a northwest flow. So the airflow, the source of air, by the time we get in here into Tuesday, we will not make it out of the 70s on Tuesday. In fact, I'm forecasting 70s much of the week. Take a look at this. Let me put it in blue. I think you'll be able to illustrate it more. Here we are in the state of Indiana right now, and trace the source region of our airflow mass, and it's a continental polar air mass that's being sucked down into here. So that's going to be it's what I call a strong northwest flow, and that northwest flow persists on for days. As you can see, even though this little trough moves on and takes the rain out of the way with it and moves it more towards the east coast, still we have that northwest flow going on all the way until about Sunday, when it starts to become more zonal, more of a west to east fashion, and that's when we'll start to warm up just a little bit. But it looks like we've got a cool forecast coming on. As far as temperatures are concerned, if I just put this into motion, here's what the Canadian model says for temperatures, and what you're seeing is 70s for highs during the daytime and even 50s and 60s at the nighttime as far as the eye can see. So this is a nice setup, and then we don't even get back until the near 80s. By the time you get into the Sunday range, it looks like we could have some upper 80s, even 90s down in Kentucky, according to the Canadian. More like mid 80s for us. So we've got a nice week temperature-wise planned up for us. Now, what can we expect sort of in the long-range outlook? Well, the Climate Prediction Center actually thinks that we go above normal in the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. I disagree with this, but I point this out just because I respect the National Weather Service, but I'm not sure where they're seeing. If we take a look at the raw data from the next 16 days out here, what you see, the ensembles say that we hit upper 70s a couple of days and then very low 80s. I actually think that we're going to stay in the ensembles have been a bit too warm, quite frankly. And I think that we stay in the 70s really through Friday from the way things look to me right now. But keep in mind, they have been a bit too warm on this, and the warmest that you see is 85 going from here forward on that. And remember, the 18th to 24th is where the National Weather Service is saying that we should be above normal, and they're giving this about a 40% chance of us in the region being above normal. And look at this, though, from the 18th to 24th, if I get that right, that's here where you start to 85 down to 81 on the ensembles. Bear in mind, in my opinion, the ensembles have been running just a little bit warm. Our normal high temperature is 88 degrees this time of the year. There's no way we're going above normal at this point. I just don't see it in the forecast. Looking at the extended range models, I'm not sure what the National Weather Service is thinking here, but I don't think that we return to an above normal feature at all the way things look. It looks like that we're going to stay a little bit below normal again. Now this returns a little bit more to normal, so low 80s is likely what it's going to end up as, but that folks is certainly not bad. All right. Bottom line, though, is we've got some nice days coming our way. We'll go ahead and go to southernindianaweather.com and take a look at your detailed 7-day forecast. Plan your night starts out like this tonight. Down to 68 for our low in the Jasper area, 69 Evansville, Tell City, Corden, 68 Bedford, and Vincennes, 67 Madison and Columbus here. And by the way, if we just take a look quickly at your bus stop forecast for tomorrow morning when you're sending your kiddos out, another 30% chance of rain tomorrow morning early. It'll increase to a 50% by the time we get some daytime heating going in the afternoon. But temperature's not bad tomorrow by any means, folks. In fact, I'm only forecasting a high of 83 tomorrow, cloudy with a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. Again, not everybody's going to get wet, but some of us will get this. Down to 66 for your low on Monday night. Then take a look at this. The stream of beautiful weather comes. 78 on Tuesday, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms. So I went ahead and kept that in the forecast early in the day. But folks, it's going to be a beautiful day overall, though. I do think that we're going to start to see some clearing. We'll get clearing skies by the time Tuesday night comes. We go to 62. Look at this Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine, absolutely pleasant. More of a mostly sunny day, maybe even a full sunshine day. It's going to be hard to get some clouds on Wednesday the way things look. 78 for your high, but north winds keeping that temperature down, dipping down to 56 for your low on Wednesday night. Thursday, partly cloudy, cool, 77. 78 on Friday, partly cloudy and cool, only up to 80 with another scattered thunderstorm chance on Saturday. And then the warm weather starts to return on Sunday as well. I'm forecasting 85. Now, I will be fair and say if you trust the GFS model, it keeps us much warmer than this. But the GFS is the lone ranger out there really on keeping us warm. The GFS in its ensembles are pretty warm, but the Euro, the Canadian, and pretty much everything else is not a chance GFS. And the GFS temperatures have been jacked up lately. Now, if you look at your TV stations or some of your other forecast suppliers, you may see warmer temperatures than what you see here. That's because most folks base their boast blindly off of the GFS, in my opinion. And I just don't trust the GFS that much. It's not been handling our temperature data that well, so we'll see whether this pans out or not. But I never check other forecasters' forecasts until I'm done constructing my own forecast. I don't want to be biased by somebody else, but I usually do look to see what some of the others have said just to see and kind of track as to how much my accuracy is doing versus other people, things like that, because I always strive to be the very best that I possibly can for you guys. I've looked at some of the other forecasts. They have 80s this week. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but we'll see who's right on that. And that's about all we can say at this point. But I can say this. With a northwest flow like we're seeing with this, it's going to be extremely hard whenever you get this. Let me take this out. This is the extended period of time. It stays zonal. But look at this. You get that northwest flow going on, folks, it's going to be very hard to get into the 80s under that. It's just simple meteorology. If we do get into the 80s, it's not going to be mid 80s like some folks are trying to say. Low 80s, 81, 82 at best. I do think 70s under that north flow are going to be down in the picture, more than norm this week. Maybe close to the Ohio River, you might get close to 80, but most of us in Indiana will stay in the 70s. That's the way I see it at this point anyway. You can always get your updated 7-day forecast simply by going to southernindianaweather.com. Don't forget, folks, we also have an app that you can download, and that app is a fantastic little app, folks. You can get your forecast right on that app, radar, and so much more. All right, folks, that is it for this video. Hope you have a great day. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite for Southern Indiana Weather. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning for the latest 3-minute video forecast. Take care.